What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with Tech Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another recap on today's trading. I'm currently in California, visiting my cousin out here. I'm actually going to be surprising my mom for Mother's Day, but I wanted to make a quick recap on actually what I'm trading right now. Since some of you have been asking me, you guys really enjoyed the video that I made while the market was open, I believe. And it was like, how to day trade penny stocks. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So I just had a couple alerts go off. I'm going to go ahead and see what that is all about. But alrighty. So right now we're trading FNCX. Right now it's trading around 0.719 and 72 cents. I shouted this out when it went to lows of it was 69. I got in at 69.01 or 69.1. I'm gonna have to double check on that. But right now with my Robinhood account, it tells me that I'm up 4.2% up for the day. So I'm actually going to lock in my profits right now. And I didn't get filled with my entire account of the $1,000, but pretty much I'm up $29. So I ended up getting filled with 1,000 shares, which isn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and click limit and then start selling at 0.72. I'm actually going to sell at 0.7199. And this is just so I can get filled before everyone else. So I'm going to sell with my 1,000 shares, and then I'm going to swipe up. Oh shoot, it said not enough to sell. So I already had my stop loss set, so I forgot to remove that. I do apologize. Let me go ahead and get back in it. Order type limit 0.7195, and then 1,000 shares. All right, and if you can see, my order actually is right here with it says 10. So for every 10, it's actually in the tens value. So these are actually hundreds. These are probably 2,000. Mine are only 2,000 shares. So that's so funny that you guys could actually see mine. Just like I called it out, 0.7195. Trying to get filled. I have not gotten any of my shares filled right now. It did end up hitting 72. I know that there's a buyer at 0.719. Am I really going to risk it for that, difference of a cent? No, I'm actually going to just cancel that order and just end up selling so I can get filled right where they're asking to buy. And again, although I had my order here to, buy, let me just go ahead and get my order and then I'll start talking. 0.719. And he's trying to buy 37 shares, which means 3,700. So once I put in my order in 1, 2, 3, boom. And just like that, I have been executed. So let me go ahead and share my screen for you guys. And again, it only got filled with 1,000 shares. But for those that asked me to show you guys, I don't know if that's exactly what you guys wanted to see. But pretty much, I ended up getting in at that 69-cent mark. I shouted it out, and it looks like it's actually about to break 72, which is totally okay. And again, for this $1,000 challenge, you need to be making 2.33% growth per day, three times out of the week, 4 times out of the month, 12 times out of the year, to convert $1,000 to $20,000. So yes, like my original plan for FNCX, there's a resistance at 75 cents. That is essentially, that's where I planned on selling, so 0.749. Jeremy yesterday killed it. He rode FNCX twice yesterday, locked in a little bit over, I think, 12% profit when we calculated everything out. But it really doesn't come down to that of trying to always lock in the most you can and getting greedy and trying to squeeze in as much. I was up, right? That 4.05% growth for the day, right? From my 0.691 purchase to the 0.719, sell. And it really comes down to something so simple. Yes, I could try to squeeze in a little bit more. And FNCX, yes, it might break that resistance, but understanding that, look, your goal as a day trader as your quota for every single day is to lock in 2.33% growth every single day. And if you start getting greedy and it doesn't break that resistance, and then it starts seeing a downward trend, based on my own experience, and correct me if I'm wrong, what a lot of people end up doing is, well, then they wait till that it was at, meaning that like right now it was at 72 cents, 71.9, right? Holding there at 71.9. If it doesn't break that point, it's going to start, just the demand isn't going to really be there anymore. It's going to start staircasing down. It's going to be at 70 cents, and then I'm just going to want to sell back at that 71.9 instead of 74 cents, just so I can lock in what could have been, right? What I should have. And it, day trading should not be, what I should have locked in. It should really just be, where you're buying, where you're selling, where you'd be okay with selling. So where you should be okay with selling is essentially, you can shoot for something high. So again, I was shooting for something, 74.9, just because it made sense, because that was a resistance. I shouted it out to the group. I'm going to see if I can actually pull it up for you guys. I called it out that there was a resistance at 72 cents. It was really difficult for it to break. And it was just like that, right? It's understanding that the indicators were showing that it was not really working to actually break above that 79 cents. So I called it out with a slight resistance at 72 cents. And then minutes earlier, I was like, FNCX moving up, about to break 70. It broke 71, just keeping the team updated on my trades, right? During the pre-market movers, I know I shouted that one out that I was in at 69. I'm pretty sure that I called it out. So I was talking to Salit within the group chat. I was saying I'm going to be selling at 75 cents. He was like, okay, so you mean 74.80, because he always knows that, I sell, before the actual resistance. So this is just my original plan where I was planning on purchasing it. And that's really just it. Other than that, oh, sorry about that. Other than that, it was very simple. I'm actually like, I can set my alerts right now for FNCX. Like right now, there's buyers a little bit higher than, actually a little bit lower than what I actually was trying to sell at. So now there's actually sellers at 0.719. Now trying to lock in what they should have probably a little earlier. But 100%, like, it really comes down to you as a trader on how disciplined you want to become. And how you want to treat this as a career. I've noticed that the more greedy that I get, the less profit that I lock in. I can get lucky, and from one time to another, it pops to the exact point that I thought it would, and then I lock in that profit. But the more I wait and the more I try to squeeze out, especially when it's showing me signs, right, with the resistance, that it's not really looking too good in my favor to pass 72 cents. Why not just lock it in? You're up more than what your quota is. You could follow with a trailing stop loss, whatever it is that you want to do. But I want to make sure that you guys understand how important it is to lock in profit. And I've talked about it multiple times. It's one of the worst feelings to, be up in the green like how I was right now, and all of a sudden, because FNCX is at 72 cents. If it drops down to 69 or it drops down below 69, my stop loss was there. And instead of being in the green, 4.21%, I'm going to be down now like 2%. So instead of locking the profits, now I took a loss. And with these day trades being so valuable, I find it in myself as a trader to lock in steady profit. I was going to lock it in at 2%. Just because that profit is profit. I don't care if you're making, $1 or, $10,000 every single time you trade. I want you guys to focus on the percentage, because that percentage in the long run, once you have an account that can really accommodate the type of trader you are, meaning that, everyone wants to live in the moment. And if you can take, one thing from this video, again, it's discipline, locking in that profit. But another thing that I really want to talk about, and I'm sorry, based on me going on this rant, but is, don't try to always just live in the moment. I mean, there's things that you might want to do and live in the moment and enjoy life. That's totally okay. But when it comes down to, achieving success and wanting to work towards something, right? When it comes to YouTubing, when it comes to, buying and selling houses, when it comes to whatever it is that you want to do, being a successful day trader, know that it takes time. Understand that if you try to start off, try to ball out and whatever it is that you want to call it, and start with like, $10,000 and that's your whole savings account, you know nothing about day trading, you throw yourself in there, hoping that you can mimic my trades and be, in a sense, have the same, successful track sheet that I have. I've been doing this for years and I am no way a perfect trader, and I manage my risk, and I've learned different, in a sense, just rules and discipline, and have disciplined myself to know when I should lock in profits, when I shouldn't, when I should lock stop losses, and I still make losses. See red days multiple times, right? It really comes down to understanding that this type of market, that this type of career, yes, you could see success, and for people that get it right away, that's great, but don't rush into it. Be patient. And as you continue to develop and learn as a trader, continue to grow your account accordingly. Don't just fund it just because you're doing good one day and all of a sudden you want to jump back in and do amazing again. Like, relax, understand that, look, you have years, right? I'm 22. A lot of you guys are like, some of you guys are like, I've seen 16, 17. Some of you guys can be, 80, whatever it is. Just know that, it takes a certain amount of years to actually understand everything that can potentially happen within the stock market. I have not learned everything, right? And I learn, new things every single day. That's why I think, our group within Tech Solutions is so powerful, because I get to learn from both experience and beginners, and there's things to learn from everyone. So don't rush into it. Understand that, if you see potential in this market, first see what you're doing wrong and how in the long run you could achieve success. Understand that, yes, I can be trading with, $1,000 right now, funding it $100 every single month, but eventually I'll be at $10,000 when I'm locking in this 4.4% profit. I'm going to be locking in, $400 every single day with this 4% profit with, $10,000, right? Locking in 10% a day, then I can, be locking in $1,000 every single day. And just think about how that transitions into how much you'll be making a year. It's not a hard thing to understand, but it's for those that are patient and those that can plan out and scale out their success and understand that, yes, that time will come when I start making, $1,000 every single day, $500 every single day. But it starts with the principle of understanding that locking in profit is key. And the more you lock in profit, the larger your account will grow. So later on, when you lock in, the same amount of percentage, again, percentage being the key thing about this, locking in 2-4%, instead of just locking in, whatever it is that we locked in right now, probably like $30, $40 with this $1,000 challenge. The same percentage when my account is, my risk account is, $30,000. Then I'm going to be locking in, $1,300 or whatever it is, right? $1,200 and or $900. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. But it really comes down to starting with the principle of understanding how important it is to not, throw yourself into anything. Understand and plan out, and understand that it's going to take time to really see an enormous amount of return, especially if you don't have the education and don't have the money, right? It definitely takes money to make money. But more importantly, you need to be smart when investing, because even if you have $1,000,000 and you don't know what it is that you're doing, again, you might get lucky. But in this market, we don't care if you're rich or poor. It's those that learn and those that are well educated within what it is that we invest in that do well. There's thousands of day traders that are uber successful and don't go to college, didn't go to college. There's some that are doctors and do extremely well. It's a wide band of people, but something that we all have in common is that we're disciplined and we're realistic. And that's really just it. So, my recap was actually really short. I'm really glad I was able to lock in that profit and show you guys. So this video will be up for those that want to see the beginning of this recap. I can't thank you guys again for the love and support. I'm going to be posting some other stocks that I'm going to be watching. There's two more. I think it was MTBC that had a good gap, DRYS, and what was the other one? FNCX, but we already traded that one. So I'll follow up with you guys. I think I still have one more day trade for this week, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys enough. I can't, I appreciate the support. If you guys can like and subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. And the link is down below for those that want to join TechBud Solutions. Again, we're a free networking group, a little bit over 14,000 members worldwide. And the thing that we do best is share best practices, share mistakes, and effort to promote growth. I'm going to be answering your questions within the group chat for TechBud Solutions. But then later on, I'm going to be spending the rest of the day with my mom, just because I'm not going to be here in California for Mother's Day, just because I have to head on back to Arizona. So appreciate everything that you guys do, and I'll be looking forward to speaking to you guys. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, although it might look a little bit different, I would suggest for you guys to watch it because I talk about meetups. If you guys would actually like to meet up for coffee or have a group meetup, whatever it is that you guys want to do. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.